What if one of the most powerful women in the world never sought luxury, fame, or attention, yet ended up commanding global influence and amassing millions? Angela Merkel, the chancellor who led Germany through crisis after crisis, is a woman of contrasts, a trained quantum chemist who redefined European politics, a stoic leader in sensible blazers, whose wealth and power quietly grew behind the scenes. Her journey from a divided Berlin to the pinnacle of world leadership is not just inspiring, it's quietly extraordinary. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on her hidden fortune, personal sanctuaries, and the life she now leads. She never owned a palace, she never showed off. Yet Angela Merkel quietly built not only a political empire, but also an impressive personal fortune. As of 2025, her estimated net worth stands at around $15 million, a number built not from flashy deals or private ventures, but from decades of disciplined public service. Merkel's income sources have always been straightforward and transparent, characteristic of her famously reserved style. During her time as Chancellor of Germany, she earned an annual salary of approximately 300,000 euros, which placed her among the better-paid world leaders. This included her basic salary and allowances for official duties. After retiring in 2021, Merkel continues to receive a generous federal pension estimated at over 15,000 euros per month, along with state-funded office space, staff, and security protection. While Merkel refrained from the lucrative post-leadership speaking circuit in her early retirement years, she eventually began to accept select appearances. For major events or conferences, she is known to command upwards of $100,000 per appearance, though she chooses them sparingly. Add to this royalties from a forthcoming memoir and her honorary teaching engagements, and Merkel's wealth grows slowly but steadily, never flashy, always strategic. Angela Dorothea Merkel was born on July 17, 1954, in Hamburg, West Germany, as the daughter of a Protestant pastor and a Latin-English teacher. When she was just a few weeks old, her family made a fateful move, relocating to East Germany behind the Iron Curtain. The decision, rare at the time, meant growing up in a heavily restricted society. But in East Germany's rigid system, Merkel's mind flourished. From an early age, she was drawn to the clarity of math and science, where the truth couldn't be dictated by politics. She became fluent in Russian, excelled in physics, and earned a doctorate in quantum chemistry. For years, she worked as a scientist in the East German Academy of Sciences. A quiet life governed by logic, not ideology. What's remarkable is how Merkel transitioned from the lab to the halls of power, a shift that would eventually change the course of European history. The Berlin Wall fell in 1989. For Angela Merkel, it wasn't just the collapse of a regime, it was a door opening to a life she had never imagined. Within months, she joined a small democratic party called Democratic Awakening, and by 1990, she was elected to the first freely chosen parliament of unified Germany. Her rise was swift and calculated. Merkel soon caught the eye of then-Chancellor Helmut Kohl, who appointed her as Minister for Women and Youth, a surprise move that earned her the nickname Kohl's Girl. But she was never anyone's puppet. In 2000, after a corruption scandal rocked her party, Merkel did something few expected. She publicly criticized Kohl, her mentor, and called for a new start. That act of political courage cleared her path to leadership. In 2005, Angela Merkel became Germany's first female chancellor and the de facto leader of Europe. Her tenure was defined by crises: the 2008 financial meltdown, the Eurozone debt crisis, the migrant crisis of 2015, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Through it all, she was a symbol of rational stability. Dubbed the world's most powerful woman by Forbes for 14 consecutive years. Merkel served for 16 years, longer than any elected leader in modern Europe. She stepped down in 2021 with approval ratings many current leaders would envy. For someone so respected, Angela Merkel has not been immune to controversy. Her decision to open Germany's borders to over 1 million refugees during the 2015 migration crisis divided public opinion. Some saw it as an act of humanitarian leadership, others viewed it as reckless. fueling the rise of right-wing populism across Europe. She was also criticized for her strong economic ties with Russia, especially her support for the Nord Stream gas pipeline, decisions that would be re-evaluated in light of later geopolitical events. Still, Merkel has consistently defended her pragmatism, stressing that dialogue and commerce were tools for stability. To her supporters, Merkel's legacy is one of level-headed leadership. To her critics, it's one of missed opportunities. But everyone agrees. Her influence reshaped Germany and the European Union. Angela Merkel's approach to housing matches her famously modest style. For over 2 decades, she lived in the same discreet apartment in Berlin's central Mitte district with her husband, Professor Joachim Sauer. The apartment, located near Museum Island, is in a building with no luxury markings, no security gates, no high-profile neighbors. Merkel was often seen shopping for groceries at a local supermarket or walking to work. Before moving to Berlin, Merkel lived in a humble family home in Templin, a quiet town north of the capital. After retirement, she has reportedly spent more time at her countryside retreat in the Uckermark region, a scenic, forested area with lakes and nature preserves. The Uckermark house, though still private, is described as comfortable, environmentally sustainable, and deeply connected to nature. It reflects Merkel's personal philosophy: less glitter, more grounding. No villas, no gold-plated bathrooms, no extravagant security gates, just privacy, peace, and practicality. If Angela Merkel had a car collection, it would be the most understated garage in world politics. During her time in office, Merkel often used Audi A8 limousines provided by the government. These vehicles were armored, secure, and purpose-built for official travel. She also used the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, another favorite among heads of state. But these were not personal vehicles. They were state property. In her private life, Merkel has occasionally been spotted driving herself in more modest models. German media once captured her behind the wheel of a Volkswagen Golf, one of the most reliable and unpretentious cars available. There is no known luxury collection, no fleet of exotic cars. Just as with her wardrobe, Merkel kept her vehicle choices practical and efficient. It's not about horsepower or prestige, it's about function. Even in retirement, Angela Merkel's commitment to public good has not wavered. She continues to support charitable causes through speaking engagements and donations. While she does not run her own foundation, unlike many former world leaders, she is an honorary patron of numerous initiatives related to climate change, education, and women's empowerment. In 2023, Merkel quietly donated a significant sum to a refugee education program in Berlin, helping displaced youth access language training and vocational schooling. She also continues to support scientific research and has served as a mentor for women entering politics and academia. Her true philanthropic impact may not come from grand gestures, but from her example, a life lived with purpose, humility, and steady service. Angela Merkel's personal life is a rare mix of mystery and normalcy. She has been married since 1998 to Joachim Sauer, a quantum chemist and professor. The couple has no children together and largely kept their relationship out of the public eye. Sauer is known for his aversion to the spotlight, often avoiding state events altogether, except for his famous attendance at the annual Bayreuth Opera Festival, which became a Merkel tradition. Merkel loves classical music, especially Wagner, and has been seen enjoying cultural performances, museums, and science lectures. She is also known to be a voracious reader, particularly of biographies and historical nonfiction. When asked how she relaxes, Merkel often mentioned hiking in the Alps, cooking potato soup, and simply thinking things through. Angela Merkel is the definition of quiet power. She built a career without scandal, led a nation without bravado, and walked away from power without clinging to it. In a time when loud voices dominate headlines, hers was a whisper that moved mountains. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the life, legacy, and lifestyle of Angela Merkel, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon for more stories from the world of global leadership and untold fortunes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.